So once again, this is Bernard Dean in Atlanta, Georgia. I want to make sure that we have the disclaimer that actually come on. I don't think Jeff is in a position to give it, but what I want to do is I'll kind of briefly mention Engage Global is not been approved by the FDA. Anything that's said here is anecdotal. We do not make any claims to treat, cure, prevent, or diagnose any disease out there. Anything that's said here and told here is for educational purposes only. So we encourage everyone to be a good listener when it comes to this program. Let me give you a little bit about why I became one of Engage Global affiliates. I started actually with this company about 3.5 years ago. I was not looking for a company, to be quite honest with you. I'm a retired firefighter, 25 years on the fire department. I've been 30 years a paramedic, and I have, even though I was in the pharmaceutical realm, what I've come to realize since I've been around pharmaceuticals is even though there's a lot of good things given to us, it has a lot of side effects, and it has a result individuals have actually been on so many different medications that it seemed like every time you take it for one thing, then a synergetic effect comes, which means I may take something for my heart, then next thing I know, the illness moves over to my kidneys. I take something for my kidneys, next thing I know, it moves over to my liver. So sicknesses have a tendency to actually travel. And as a result, a lot of individuals are taking a whole lot of things, and they're finding now out the hard way that having a synergenic effect with these pharmaceuticals can indeed change your life when it comes to the quality of life. So when this was introduced to me by Jonathan Jones, it took me about almost 5 years actually to take a look at Engage Global. And I wasn't really looking at the business. What I was looking at is I've always been concerned as to whether these products actually work. Any company I've ever been affiliated with, I've been one of those clients that men a lot of times are non-compliant. With me, I've always been somewhat compliant. You know, when drinking water and all, I could probably be better. But I decided one day after I retired from the fire department, I got hurt on a fire. I was in ICU for about 17 days and then spent quite a bit of time in the hospital. But when I came out, I could only walk around the block twice. So I was open. Even though I was told about Dr. Broussard products, I was about, like I said, 5 years down the line, and circumstance changed, and it caused me to take a look at this company and products. So I decided one day to call Jonathan up and said, you know what, let me see what these products are about. Now, at the time that I was told about the products, I did not know Dr. Kedar Broussard was behind it. So I simply just tried the products. And I found that after about 5 or 6 days, instead of walking around the block twice as I was doing because I had gotten hurt, my blood counting went down to two. And those of you that are in the medical field know that when your blood count when your count get down to two, you pretty much circling the drain. In fact, the nurse used to come in and shine a flashlight on me in the middle of the night, I guess, to see whether they can free that bed up. And I said, bring me another Percocet. And then the nurse came to me and she says, Mr. Dean, she said, you are the happiest man dying that I've ever seen. And her friends started laughing because they knew I could take it with the joke. But basically, after about 3 or 4 weeks of taking the products, I noticed that I can actually walk around the block a number of times. And then my wife she started taking it. Next thing you know, within probably about a month and a half, I was at 3 miles. And that's when I knew the Dr. Kedar Prasad product was real. Now, here's what I need everybody on here to understand. I don't care what a company promotes. If the product doesn't work, nothing else matters. And today we're not going to just talk about a little bit about the product, but we're going to talk about the opportunity. I don't think our David Melker came on yet. Okay, he has not. But 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 anyway, what I started doing is I started after I actually got the product to work. I looked up. I was asking a question. I told my wife. I said, you know what? We've been with all these different companies with these products. I got very minimal results. This is the first time I've ever been with a company that had products that actually work. So then I looked up Dr. Kedar Prasad. Now, once again, this is a business opportunity. We're not talking about how good the product is. That's been proven over and over every week. What I looked up and I saw your credentials, Dr. Prasad. When I saw your credentials, I Googled you and I saw pages and pages and pages of the facts that you had pursued whenever it came to radiation, nutrition, micronutrients. And I was blown away by this. And then all of a sudden, it dawned on me that every company I'd ever been affiliated with, I have never been able to find the person that made the product. And then all of a sudden I realized, I said, you know what? This is not just a network marketing company. Because I said I'd never get involved in network marketing again. But all of a sudden, I found that this was beyond network marketing because we had a product that worked. Then I went and did research on the company, and the company wound up being much better than I've ever seen with a company. And as a result, I talked to my wife and I said, you know what, this product works. The company seemed to have a lot of integrity. I checked out the pay plan, and all of a sudden, I realized that we're living in a time where people are losing their jobs like crazy. We've had a number of people over the last month that have been working 20, 30, 40 years. And it's amazing how when companies want to get rid of you, they come up with all kind of excuses of how to get rid of you. And so the results were I got involved with the company, and here 3 years later, down the line, did I regret my decision? Absolutely not. I started this company for $50 to become an affiliate. And once I became an affiliate, I kind of sit on it for about a year and a half. And then all of a sudden I realized I didn't know that I had gold in my hands. And I have a number of people that are on here now that would attest to the fact that they've been a part of many companies many years, but they have never received an opportunity like this. It seems like everybody's able to get on but our co-host. So anyway, let's go ahead and continue to talk about this. So as I actually started looking into the company, I made the decision that for $50, I would go ahead and sign on as being an affiliate. And was it a bad decision? Absolutely not, because we know that anytime you sign on with a company, you're really committing to more than just a business. You're committing to something that perhaps could wind up being a retirement vehicle for you. And so that's what happened to me, is I actually signed up with Engage Global, and it became a retirement vehicle. So that as a result, I actually took over the last 2 years and started building a business. Well, let's just go ahead and get started because it seems as though our co-host is having a challenge getting in. Now, why is Engage Global a good opportunity to take a look at? Let's look at the facts. First of all, what makes us different from being a typical network marketing company? The first thing that makes us different is that we can validate the product. Some of you realize that after looking up the credentials of Dr. Kedar Prasad, then what we found is that having the accolades of a person, Dr. Kedar Prasad, I want you to unmute for a minute because I want you to validate something from me, of course. So Dr. Kedar Prasad, go ahead and unmute. When you find someone that actually you could validate by his credentials, it makes a world of a difference. Dr. Kedar Prasad, do you hear me? No, you're muted. Go ahead and unmute.
All right.
Okay, very good. Back in 2012, and this is because we have a number of people on here that have never taken a look at our company. And we're not talking about, let's say, the product. The product works 100%. I mean, whether you got diabetes, cancer, dementia, heart problems, our product improved the quality of your life. And that's something that's a fact now. So the question I think that a lot of us business-wise are wondering is, just in a word, maybe about 2 or 3 minutes, tell us how you met Dave Nemelka.
Oh, I think, when David Nemelka started selling the product that was I developed in collaboration with the Department of Defense and with a lot of the clinical study. And so David Nemelka bought that from my previous company, which was, I used to own it, but they went under. And so he bought it from that company, right, for this micro daily. And so I was visiting there. So I contacted him. I said, I'm the one who developed this, and I would be glad to help you if you want to. And then he said, oh, yeah, come on down. So we went to Utah and we hit very nicely. I was very much impressed with his devotion to health and goodness for the people and also helping people financially while doing that. So I became an advisor and then I'm now chief scientific officer.
Now let me be straight. Everybody on here, when we first started out, right now we have over 16 products. But this actually started out with just Micro Daily.
Micro daily, that's right.
Just Micro Daily.
Yeah.
And so what was it that caused Dave to take a look at you business wise? Because I remember he told us the story that when he first took a look at this, he was basically interested in the health benefit. What is it that transitioned him from being just a customer to actually developing the business of Engage Global?
I think he himself saw some testimonial of the people that how benefit they were deriving it. And he himself experimented on himself and then thought it is very good product. So he changed his opinion. Rather than just for business, now it become a human health, goodness, other people at the same time, financial reward for those who work for that.
Very good, very good. And so starting out with one product, the company was marketing. I went back and looked at some of the material of the past, and just micronutrients or food for the sales was a good marketing strategy. However, what were some of the things that Microdaily helped out with that really changed the game when it came to people's health and taking just Microdaily along before the other products came along?
Yeah, micro daily, in the beginning, for example, we had a folic acid and cyanocobalamin. But we changed it to next step was that we use the folate. Instead of folic acid, we use methylfolate. And instead of cobalamin, we use methylcobalamin because that is the form body uses it. So, there was one development. And then Dr. Coate brought the question of EMF radiation. And EMF radiation has a unique way of causing damage. It also produces free radical, just like ionizing.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so basically, now when you look at this, I need everybody to understand. If you have a good product, which Dr. Broussard, you the one designed, then you have a business mind like Dave Nemelka, and you come
Yeah,
together. I always like to say it's like the peanut butter and jelly
yeah.
phenomenon. Once you bring it together, you got a whole new market going. Now, what does that have to do with business? Here's what it has to do with business. At the end of the day, whether a company grow or sink is dependent on the customer. It's depending on the customers. And what I'm finding is that Dr. Broussard, when people started taking your product, for some reason, and it's happening today, in a relatively short period of time. But what I have found on here with all the stories that go on every week, what I have found is people that consistently take the product for 2 to 3 weeks, they start getting results almost immediately, which is highly unusual, but yet it's a good phenomenon that happens when it comes to customer base. So a lot of people are finding that once they get on your products, they never come off.
Yep.
So that's something I know with you, you highlight the point that guys, if you really love my product, get the product out. That's something you truly believe. Am I right or wrong on that?
Yeah.
Absolutely. So the point is that now as a company, you got the right product. That's important. You have the right company, which is really big. And I apologize, by the way, that my um, let's see, my partner is having a little bit of trouble getting on, and I'm looking. Let's see. Okay, he's still in. Okay, so now you got the right company, you got the right product, and now customers are the most important thing that you could do in this job. So in this business. Now, What made, when you first came on, we wanted this company to have affordability when it came to affiliates at $50. $50, which is virtually nothing to start a home-based business, was what y'all decided on as far as us getting started. Is that correct, Dr. Prasad?
Yeah, correct.
So, what do you get for $50 when you come on with this company? Well, first of all, you get access to your own website, which is huge. You get access to all this scientific information that talks about the product. And those of you that realize that after that micro daily, all the other products actually came out as a result of how well the products actually work. So the results were all of us started using the product. We found the product works, and we paid our $50, and we decided to become part of Engage Global. So that was a huge factor with me making the decision. It was affordable, it was available, it was effective, and I says, well, good opportunity to take a look at something. And of course, a lot of us were involved in this type of marketing probably for a few years before we became part of this company. So now, as customers, what is the benefit of this company? Well, first of all, many of you would agree that for a few customers that have diabetes, cancer, dementia, heart problems, we would all say that people are having a tremendous problem, especially since the pandemic. How many of you would say, and by way of waving and a way of participation, that these products are much needed today? Wave if you really believe it's needed, or put thumbs up on that. Absolutely. That's the reason why those experiences that we have on this call every week. And for those of you that are new, a special welcome to you, because we normally come on and just talk about the products. But today we're talking about why it's a good business. So now, with this business being affordable, effective, available, then $50 was decided to basically just process all the information. The company does not make money on memberships only. That would differentiate you being a pyramid versus being a legitimate network marketing company. And again, we don't have a title for what we're doing. We're beyond network marketing. So now that means that when you come on with this company for $50, it gives you your own website. It gives you access to the scientific information regarding Dr. Prasad. It gives you also a network of people in the same mindset that actually can help you to develop customers first. So customers are very, very important. Now, how effective is this company when it comes to actually establishing your own business uh, in getting customers? For 20 customers, and again, I'm just telling you just from my experience, 20 customers in this business basically average $1,000 a month. Now I want y'all to think about that for a minute. How many of us had 20 customers and didn't even make $100 a month? I think some of us have probably two hands on that. This company has a plan that's designed for $50 having your own business that will take you all the way from zero to actually 45,000 a month. And of course, that's something we'll go over another time. But just think about it: 20 customers that have a problem with diabetes, dementia, cancer, and all of these things can actually get assistance with something that make the quality of their life better. And they're doing it all because they paid $50 to start their own business. Now, when people start their own business, that's not necessarily just something just to do. There are other benefits in having your own business. Well, what's the example? When I first came into this industry, I looked at the tax benefit, and I was surprised that it's a lot of people that have a lot of jobs and all that don't have a tax benefit, which means if you don't have your own business, then you don't have the write-offs of a person having their own business. And then I found out that this is a legitimate business. Why? Because at the end of the year, the first year, I got a 1099, which means the government says, hey, you were part of a legitimate company. The company sent in about your taxes. Now you have to pay these taxes. Well, of course, in business like this, 3 to 5 years, you're not going to really pay taxes on it because, well, most people don't get your own tax person to actually go over this with you. But it gives you an opportunity to actually start your own business and then develop into from zero to $45,000 a month with no problem. And the company put a perfect plan in place to make this happen. So that's the reason why customers are always the first best thing to do. Now, why customers, you may ask? Why customers? Because a person cannot really, really grow in a business unless they truly believe in whatever you're talking about. So if the product doesn't work for you, you need to find something else to do. You agree or disagree?
Yeah.
Thumbs up if you truly believe that. Okay, so the product works, the company is affordable, and now the instruments that you need is actually in place to make it grow, which is your back office website, and now the comp plan. Now that comp plan is designed to actually make sure that the company pays you what you're worth. Most companies don't do that. Most companies, if you're working at McDonald's, guess what? They'll pay you a certain amount of money, and over the next 2 or 3 years, they're going to pay you 50 cents more, maybe a dollar more. But how many times at the end of the month you got more month than the money left over? All of us would raise our hands on that. That's the reason why we have bills at the end of the month. We owe more than what we've made. So now, by having your own business, especially if you're working, there's the tax benefit. You got a product that's going to make the quality of your life better. You have something that's not only working for you, but you may be assisting people that have a need for financial assistance. In fact, as I was looking at this company, I thought about it. In California recently, they had the wildfires. Certain places they got floods. They found out a lot of people didn't have insurance, which means a lot of people for 30, 40, 50 years were living places. Overnight, they had nothing left. And in certain cases, even their business actually fell down. The business went away because of these floods and fires. So I was thinking as I was looking at it, I said, well, what if they had a business like this? What if they had an Engage Global where your business is not contingent on just you, but you had 100, 200, 300 people that were getting customers. And also, by the way, customers is only one way to make money in this business. Sure. Customers is just one way to make money in this business. The company has made another way that a person can make money in this business. Well, what way is that? You can also have the option of building a team. Now, some people come in this business, they don't want it. They don't want to go out and talk to people. Matter of fact, the majority of you that are on this call tonight, I promise you, it is very difficult to go out and talk to people about a company, a product. And I had someone ask me this week. They said, you know what, Mr. Dean, I see you have a lot of success in this business. I said, she said, but you're a salesman. I said, no, 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 no. I said, you got it wrong. I'm not a salesman. I'm a person that enjoys sharing things with people. Once I started feeling good, my family, my friends, and everybody started asking me and said, well, what are you doing? What are you doing with your and as a result, I got an opportunity to share with them a little information about Engage Global. And as a result, over the next 2.5 years or so, the business exploded because of that. So I started out with what? Customers. And then I progressed to all of a sudden, some of the people that were gathering customers, and again, the company has made it so that for a relatively small group of customers, as little as 20, you can get 1,000, you can make $1,000 with no problem. By the way, we're not going to go over the compensation plan. I'm just giving you what happened to me. All of a sudden I saw $1,000 sitting there with people. I had 20 something customers, and monies would come from customers. And then some of those customers all of a sudden turned around and said, what? You know, Mr. Dean, I really, really love these products. My cousin got the result. You know, my mom, I thought she was going to die. She's still around. She was going to get cancer or whatever, diabetes. And she was given this death sentence by her doctor. And these products helped us out and pretty much helped save my relative life. And he said, how can I become a part of this business? That's how my business got started. And so from the beginning, once I saw that the finances was real And that every Thursday they had a weekly pay. I'm not talking about WEAKLY, a WEEKLY weekly paycheck. And then every month I had the money on the 10th of the month coming in. All of a sudden I realized it was a real business. I said, you know what? I'm living in a time where right now jobs are not guaranteed. So we have to make sure that if we introduce anything, we have by the way, our co-host, we have a number of people coming in. So thank you for your assistance on that. But all of a sudden I realized, I said, you know what? This is a perfect timing for Engage Global. You got a product that works again. I'm gonna keep reiterating that because some of you may not realize what you got in your hand. You got a product that works. Within 3 to 4 weeks, you got to nurse them, by the way. You have to nurse them. That's the only way they'll stay with your program, is if you teach them how to use the product. You have to know what your products do. And once you call them up for the first 2 to 3 weeks, what you're going to find is they're going to start calling you. So a product that works. You got a CEO. Those of you that have come on these calls have heard Dave Nemelka talk. Dave Nemelka, yeah, and this is something I truly love, and I talk from the bottom of my heart. This man loves people. This is a people business. So when I talked to Dave, I asked Dave, I said, Dave, you know, a lot of times companies get very successful and they go away. I said, what's your vision for Engage Global? And Dave said, I want to bring health and wellness to the world, Bernard. He said, but I want to make sure that people like you, people that perhaps the system done beat them up. He said, I want to give you something that a lot of people don't have today. You want to give us hope. How many of us on here need some hope today? I don't care how much money you have. If you don't have good health, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. That's the reason why you can't be on a Better Call every Sunday at 5 o'clock Eastern Standard Time on this call. You should be on here and you should bring your people. If you come alone on these calls, you're doing an injustice to your friends and family that truly need the product, and in certain cases really need the business. It is an injustice because right now, I venture to say, and I saw some of the names on here, we have some people that are on here that weren't supposed to be here today. And they've taken all kind of pharmaceuticals and all. And I'm not saying pharmaceuticals are bad, by the way. All I'm saying is that they've taken a lot of products that did not improve the quality of their life. And now they're on to something natural that they can take all their medications. These products don't interfere with medication. Some of you may know all this, but what you can do is take it in conjunction with your medications, and over a period of time, allow your doctor to let you know when some of these pharmaceuticals can be done away with. Now, why is that important in business? Because I don't care how much money you have. If you don't have good health, it means nothing. I've never seen anybody going through a funeral, going down the street, dragging their house, their car, all their belongings. Say, oh, you got so much stuff. They don't do that. They don't do that. People, you have to have a quality of life before you can actually progress to having a quality business that actually means something to you. So, business opportunity, you got Dr. Prasad. For those of you that are brand new, Dr. Kedar Prasad, Google him. You need to Google him. Why? This man, look at him. Look at he got a little neck brace on because he was probably trying to go a little faster than he should have went. And Dr. Prasad, how old are you?
I'm going to celebrate my 91 year on a January 8th.
91
On
years.
January 8th, yes, sir.
How important is good health to you versus finances? Need everybody on here to understand this.
Yeah, it helps me. I mean, financially, no question about it. I'm chief of, David Namalka has been very generous. And so I'm surviving because of this. And because, basic science professor doesn't have enough resources. But in any case, I'm very happy right now, financially speaking.
Beautiful, beautiful. Now, but you would agree that if you didn't have good health, if you were laying in bed drooling and looking at the
Yeah,
ceiling,
I would
would
have
that
been
mean,
miserable.
would that money mean anything to you?
Yeah, I know. But I think
So
it was
what's the point?
a chance that best businessman and good human being like David Navalka and me worked together. So all the product subsequently I developed, he initiated it. He said, Kedar, can you develop Brand Boost? Can you develop Heart Boost? Then I do 3 month research and then I developed it. So he is the one instrumental, at least bringing the problem that market needs it or people needs it.
Excellent, excellent. And by the way, thank you so much for the core four. For those of
Yes.
you that are brand new on here, the core four is just the best thing I've ever seen because 96 to 97% of the people, when they first come on this product,
Yeah.
I don't care what kind of condition they're in, when they take that core four, it just makes a world of a difference with their health.
You know,
And people really become hooked on the company based upon that core four, which involve the micro daily, the probiotic, the omega-3, and the collagen.
Yeah. Do you
And
mind if I ask a
so,
question, please?
um, so therefore, when it comes to these products, thank you so much. So, again, business-wise, you've kind of made it easier for us because a lot of times we're trying to figure out what do we need to do or what do we need to take and give people out there that will give them the perfect start in this business to say it's real. And again, without your health, it means nothing. So that core four, by the way, is going to be huge. For those of you that do not know what the core four is all about, please speak with the one that invited you with this call. So now you have an opportunity to develop customers, first of all. And now here's what the company has done to make it a little easier for you. Those of you wonder how much does the company how much does the company want us to succeed? The company even give us free points to get free products, and it ensures that along the way on our journey, when you're on an auto ship program, that it's giving you free products along the way so you can try different products as you're growing, as you're getting healthy. Well, once again, there's a lot of tools that involve in just being a good affiliate or a good customer with this business. Now, I talked to you a little bit earlier about building a team. Now, everybody don't want to build a team. It's a fact. A lot of people don't want to make them calls to anybody. They don't want to encourage anybody along the way. But you may be developing customers only, right? Those customers are generally going to go out and talk to other customers. This company has made a way that your customers can actually get customers and get credit for it. They can get free product as a result of promoting the company's products. That's great. That's phenomenal. I've had people on here that had customers that were building to the point they finally decided, you know what, I need to be an affiliate. I want to take and build a team. I want to go directly being an affiliate rather than a customer because customers will only get the benefit of their customers at one time. But now once they decide that they want to be an affiliate, then they'll get a regular feed on this customer. They can actually have customers that they get what they call residual income. Now, how many on here, once again, this is a little bit of participation, unusual. How many on here would rather have a one-time paycheck from yourself versus a residual pay? How many would just want to be paid for what you do? Like this. Dina, you want to be paid just for what you do? Now, let me ask the other question. How many people would want to do the McDonald philosophy, get 1% of 100 people rather than 100% of myself? How many would like to do that? Would do that instead? 100% of yourself is not as good as getting 1% of many people. When you build a team, even if you got sick, your team continues to work. Let me say it again. Even if you got sick, your team continues to work. This company don't pay you for what you do. It pays you for what you start. That's what kind of business you're in. So is it easy? No. If anybody sit up and tell you something easy, you need to pack your bags and run the other way. It takes a mindset to have your own business. Because the more you love people, the more you want to help people, the more successful you will be. Now that involves more than at the beginning, it's okay to want a small paycheck. But the one thing that and this is Bernard Dean, one thing I don't do, I don't lie to people. I don't lie to people. I just tell them exactly what I know. They say, Bernard, would you think these funds help you out? I said, absolutely, I believe they'll help you out. Now, that's what I believe. So I promise less and deliver more. The more familiar you are with your product, the more products you're going to get out. Why? Because you can put your combinations together. Take, for instance, if a person is lacking micronutrients, tell them, guys, no, you need micronutrients. Your cells haven't eaten in a long time. Right now, there's no more food in food. You can eat healthy as you want, but it's got all kind of pesticides and everything else in there. And a lot of people eat wonderfully. They be eating all good and all this still. They walk around saying, yeah, you need to be on my, and you look at them, they look like death. People, we need micronutrients. Our cells need to eat. What else do we need? Well, we need omega-3. We know our bodies have inflammation going. What about the probiotic? Our gut is where all our sicknesses start, people. So therefore, Dr. Prasad considered that. When he put the core four together, he put the probiotic there to make sure it gets our gut ready to receive 100% products that he's putting out. Collagen. Collagen. Women, I know y'all like to look good. Your skin, nails, and hair, you want to look good, but guess what? So that 40, 50, 60, 70, it's so much collagen is lost. It's crazy. But once you start taking the collagen, not only your nails, skin, and hair look good, but also your muscles, tendons, and ligaments all of a sudden start getting the nutrients you need to go back healthy again. All of a sudden, certain pains and all that you had, is that right, Dr. Prasad?
Yes.
Yeah, so therefore, how important is collagen, Dr. Prasad?
What did you say?
How important is collagen?
It is very important because 30% of your total body protein is collagen. It is important for your brain function, for your ear function, for your eye function, for your heart function, and of course for your skin, as you all know, and kidney function. It is important. So if you lose collagen and you can observe in the skin, but you don't observe in the brain what is happening in kidney, but it is happening there something too. So it is very important for good health to maintain a normal level of collagen, and one and only way is taking our product because it has an inhibitor of collagenase which destroy collagen.
Thank you so much. Somebody may ask, well, Bernard, what do you got to do with business? What it has to do with business is this. If I give you the right combination and you go from being in bad shape to good health, then you're going to, first of all, love it yourself. And even if you don't want to talk about it, other people are going to talk about you. Some of us have been on here that before taking this product, people were looking at us saying, I don't know what they're doing, but I don't want to do it. I don't know what you're eating, but I wish you tell me so I'll go out and buy it. But all of a sudden, they start taking our product. The next thing you know, they're walking with more pep in this step.
Yep.
Once they start taking the products, all of a sudden, this person that forget where they're at, sometimes stand on the corner wondering which way to go. All of a sudden, they take that brain boost along with the heart boost and the omega-3 and the micro daily. And next thing you know, they're remembering things they never remembered in the last few years. Do you know how huge that is when it comes to your business? That's the gold that you have in your hand. You have a product that's easy to get out to the masses because right now, especially since the pandemic, people are suffering. How many of us have lost more people since the pandemic than we've ever lost? How many people have just went to more funerals in the last 5 years than they've been to in a lifetime? We've been there, people. These people are on vitamins and minerals and stuff that's not working. It's not working. We come on here and we hear some stories. These stories are not just told for the sake of entertainment. These stories are told because they're their personal stories that they're getting results from. They can never know about this unless you talk about it. There's an old saying. You can have a lot of good stuff in your head, but it doesn't matter unless it makes it through your mouth. So now, some of us decided that, Engage Global is a great product, great company. Dr. Prasad, I love you. I mean, we better take advantage of Dr. Prasad. I personally believe he's gonna be around 120, but I mean, that's just my opinion. But my thing is that we have our professor, our Dr. Prasad, we have our great company, we got a great product, we got a great pay plan. And those people a lot of times go to their grave saying, man, I just wish I had an opportunity. How many of you have done that? Sometimes we work at a job for 40 and 50-year work, 40 years for a $40 watch for $40 a month, and we don't get any benefit. But now we're with a company that we can actually make our own way. Y'all understand the goal you have in your hands? Now, when it comes to building a team, we have 9 positions that the company has offered. And by the way, this is one of the first companies I've ever been affiliated with that actually most people in their first month of being an affiliate have a check with their name on it. By the way, it's not a check because right now what we do is we debit into the account. I had someone, for instance, someone came on board, they were just excited about the product. It worked. They had spot and they just got the word out that they love these products. And after about almost a month, she said, I'm sorry. She said about a month, she said, let me see how to get in my back office. And I said, oh, you never been back there? She said, no. So we opened up the back office. And she had $1,800 sitting there. And she looked at me, she said, oh, is this an example of what I can make? I said, no, that's your money. But then I looked over at at her points. She had over 3,000 points, which means she can get any product she wanted with those points. Now, she wasn't looking at the money star now. She was looking at just doing what? She was looking at helping people. So some have asked me, Bernard, how can I be successful when it comes to Engage Global? Become a helper of people. Dr. Prasad, how important is it to want to help people?
It is very, you mean core 4?
It is core, put the right combination together to be brain boost, could be CBD.
Yeah, I think, first core 4, as you know, this year I have addressed through Zoom call 4 international meetings, one on Alzheimer, one on diabetes, one on Parkinson's disease, and one on PTSD. And for next year, and I emphasize importance of core 4 in a prevention and improved treatment of these disorders. And I have already committed for 5 meetings for 2006 international meeting to address Zoom call on this issue. But other one, for example, brain boost, sometimes, as you know, the brain takes 20% of respired oxygen. And when they use oxygen to generate energy, free radicals are produced as a byproduct. And then if the too much free radicals, then they induce inflammation. So you'd have thought that brain should have a higher level of antioxidant. Brain has the lowest level of antioxidant in your body. So they can't handle increased production of free radicals by the mitochondria as a byproduct. Can't avoid it. And so we thought that not only we have a micro daily EMF, but we do certain things, for example, which can increase not only the antioxidant level, but also the precursors. So we added, for example, coenzyme Q10 and B3, which are very important for use by the mitochondria to generate energy. We add resveratrol, which increases the number of mitochondria in the brain so that you can generate more energy. We added curcumin because it's a more powerful antioxidant than other kind of antioxidant. And in the top of that, as you know, brain has a lot of membranous structure, it's full of membrane, and they're very sensitive to free radical damage. So I said we have to replace the precursor of this vitamin. So we added a phytotidylcholine and phytotidyl, another agents. who are precursor of the membrane. And therefore, if the membrane get damaged and new membranes are formed, then they are now protected by antioxidant, then we develop. So it is very powerful. If somebody has brain fog, this is kind of helpful.
So for those of you that did not understand what Dr. Prasad just said, Dr. Prasad just said, if y'all want to be healthy in that area, you better be taking these products and doing it consistently. And so that's very, very important, Dr. Prasad. We look forward to future calls with you, actually giving us a little bit more insight on the actual product.
Sure.
Right now, going back to the business aspect, some of you will be building teams, whether you want to or not. Now, here's the beauty behind this company. There are people that's going to come on board here that you've never done this before. That's totally understood. You come in, you're a little bit scared, you haven't made any money in any of these things in the past. People promise you everything, they deliver nothing, and you wonder whether anything can ever help you. What we've done, and that is all the leaders. And by the way, I'm hoping that we have a couple of leaders on here that give you a little bit of insight. And we only have about, and everybody stay on, by the way, about 8 minutes. Any leaders, you can raise your hand and really attest to this. What we've done with this company that's different than anything I've ever done is on every Sunday at 5 o'clock on these calls, we're going to have Dr. Prasad on as much as possible. And we're going to have something on to give you education of the product. And everyone is invited. We are an engaged global family that's dedicated to your success. Also, Dr. Court definitely has his programs during the week. There is a calendar that's on there to give you the company-sponsored programs. Then you have Jonathan Jones have his special programs. You have Beth Sturtevant. And then you have, and please let me know if I'm forgetting anyone, but all of this is designed to give you the tools you need to grow in your business. But also, remember, you're in business for yourself, but you're not in business by yourself, which means that we're always teaching and helping you to meet your own personal goals. Now, if you really want to be successful, with Engage Global, I'm going to give you some suggestions. The first thing you're going to have to do, you have to clean that mind out a little bit. Because we get up in the morning, a lot of people take and listen to the news and all that stuff. And the news is really the same thing. It's just different names. So rather than look at the news, why not go and bring up some things that really mean something? Things such as what Jim Rohn, Brian Tracy, Napoleon Hill. On the YouTube, there's a lot of good programs that help us to actually get ready to change our mindset. Also, we have to get accustomed to doing just a little bit every day toward our business. So even though it's not required to really just talk to people a whole lot, you have to develop a different mindset whenever it comes to business if you want to be successful. With me, once I saw that you can make money with this business, I said, you know what? I could maybe pay off some of these credit cards. I could maybe put something on the house. And since I've come into Engage Global, I've been able to put a fence around my house, put a new HVAC. I've been able to build this man cave that I'm in. Well, this is not San Francisco, by the way. This is just a picture. But I was able to do a whole lot of things. Now, why is that important? That's not to say anything about no bragging about what you can do in here, because everybody got a different goal. What it's saying is your why is going to be your motivating factor as to whether you quit or stay until you make it to your personal goals. So there's been said your why will make you cry or die. There's a lot of truth to that. So if you got a strong enough why, you got to start developing a mindset. Another thing, if you're an affiliate in this business, go back and pull up your website. Read a little bit of this every day. The science brochure have the history of the company running back when it started all the way to now. The company has given us the tools, but tools mean nothing unless you pick them up and use them. You've got to learn about this. By the way, you don't have to become an expert in this business, but you do have to put forth a little effort to learn a little something to show people that indeed this is a real business with real results, and you could be successful with this business. We only have about 5 minutes. So in this regard, I'm kind of hoping, and by the way, I apologize to you that for whatever reason, my partner had a little challenge with the Zoom. But nevertheless, thanks to all of the leaders and to the CEO and to you, Dr. Prasad, and Engage Global, that we're able to talk to people a little bit about the opportunity. And people, I hope I didn't just botch up this opportunity because I didn't expect to be on here for an hour. But nevertheless, the expressions that I give you are from my heart. It is my prayer that everybody on here, whatever your goals are, whether it's just to get healthy, whether it's to share the products, whether it's to build a team, I think the goals or whatever, if it is to be, is up to me. And so therefore, whatever your personal goals are, talk to the person that brought you in the business. If that you can't reach that person, talk to the person that brought them in this business. Talk to whoever is necessary to help you get out that mindset that this is not just all it is. This is not all it is. There's a way for us to get healthy and help others get healthy, not only physically, but financially. There's nothing wrong with getting, some people think, oh, you people just want to make some money. You know, it's really interesting. My family, very interesting family. I can say that because they're not on here. My family always want to try to tell me what to do, but whenever I make money with something, they want to borrow that money. They were telling me it was bad money. It's bad money, but I need some of it. So family sometimes can try and stifle what your goals are without realizing they're stifling your goals. They're doing it out of love, and sometimes you have to basically get rid of that noise and have your own personal goals. So my suggestion is, if you haven't done it yet, consider signing on as an affiliate. Remember that starting out, you don't want to just build a team. You want to build the integrity by, first of all, getting results yourself, and you want to get customers. A little bit later on, if you want to learn business, then take and get together with your team and share what your vision, your goals, your dreams are, and then work together until y'all actually start getting your own self-support system. People ask me, how often do I meet with my team? I say, whenever my team want me on, I'm on. Whether it's 1, 2, or 3 people, I'm going to be on with that team because I want them to be healthy, and I want them to be healthy physically and financially. So those of you that have come on today, I do recommend take a serious look at this business. Really determine what you want to do. Yeah, some people came off the call, just very few, just 2 or 3. And it may be because the internet connection, could be previous engagements or whatever. But remember, every Sunday at 5 o'clock, bring your team on here. Don't come on by yourself. Bring your team on here. Get together with your team this week and discuss what your personal goals are, your private goals. Because the product is always going to work. The company, Dave has said, Bernard, I'm in it to win it. I'm not going anywhere. This company has integrity. They're not going to television, radio. They're not selling it for retail, anything. They're giving us what we need to make whatever our personal goals is. People, don't blow this opportunity to have a chance to start all over again. That's the beauty of every day. Every day, even though it may be raining in our lives today, tomorrow the sun will probably be out. And this may be your day of sunshine. So I want to thank everybody for putting up with me for the past hour. And I hope that next Sunday, and Dr. Prasad, I'm not sure what next Sunday is, but I hope that next Sunday that you come on, bring your people, and they're probably going to be learning a little bit more about you, the products, or whatever. And we are just so happy to be affiliated with you. So before we go off this call, what do you have to say to this whole group? And by the way, you people on here are phenomenal. I love you dearly from the bottom of my heart. And Dr. Prasad, is there anything you want to leave them with a message of before they leave?
No, I think what you said is correct, and keep growing. And anybody who wants my help, I'm always available for Engaged Family. So that's great.
Okay, very good. Well, thank everybody for coming on. You can actually unmute and say goodnight to Dr. Prasad. We look forward to our next call. Thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you,
Dr.
Dr.
Prasad.
Prasad.